And you
Damn.
do it 5 days a week, man. That's $1,500 a week times 52 weeks in a year. That's $78,000. Hey guys, welcome to the Bernie and Marley podcast. That was a sneak preview of what we're about to talk about. This is an interview with the top Fortnite coach on the market right now. He is actually the highest rated coach on FIVERR. That's an app on the phone. By the way, it's spelled FIVERR. If you're a Fortnite player looking to get better, stick around and listen to this episode. I read the reviews and this guy is the coach to have. Cody will teach you how to get better, how to start winning more games. Better yet, he will make you better than your friends. You can also find him on Twitch, COACHDODY. That'll be Coach DODY. And also, I'm giving away a $50 gift card to the Ubisoft store for PC games only. The game you buy has to be a minimum of $59, and now that will qualify you to use this gift card. To find out how to enter this raffle, all you have to do is go to my Instagram, type in Bernie and Marley podcast to search it, follow it, screenshot this episode, and repost it. Make sure you tag me on it. I will announce the winner on June 25th. That would be a Tuesday. If you don't have a PC, I recommend you still do it. If you win, just sell it to someone, give it away, give it to a friend. Do whatever you want with it. It don't matter to me. So without further ado, here's Cody. How did this even become a thing? Like, this used to be a free service. It wasn't even called a free service. It was like something you go over to your friend's house and like, hey, let's play, let's practice, get better. Did this started when Fortnite started?
It kind of seems like it. I mean, that's what it was like for me. Like, I've been a gamer since forever, and you always help your friends out. But for this, I just kind of heard about it. I mean, I was late to the game. I was like 3 or 4 months late. Started playing Fortnite right when it came out, but yeah, I just heard about it through like a couple YouTube videos or whatever. But I think it was just like the demand. Like, there's people that need it. It's such a difficult game, and people struggle with it. So I feel like that was one of the main things, just that demand, because it's such a tough game, and everyone wants to be decent at it. They don't want to be the crappy one in their group of friends.
Yeah, and then when you're crappy, it kind of upsets you, like gets you mad. And I noticed my kids, they play and then they lose a lot, and they're like, "Oh my god, like why?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and I can't take the
raging.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to take the time to teach them how to play. But I noticed they play like different game modes now, where it's like 50 on 50.
Oh yeah,
I think it's that one. Is it that one? Am I talking about the right one? It's
there's
like large groups.
Yeah, there's called limited time modes, and they're a lot more for like casual players, and they're really more chill. You don't just have one life and then you die and you rage or whatever. You like, the big thing is respawns. You get to respawn in those games.
Yeah. So my daughter, she likes the whole respawning thing because chances of her dying, well, being in big groups, she likes that. You know, chance of her dying is less.
Oh yeah, it's way more.
She knows she's not good. She knows she's not competitive on it. Because when she used to do the whole 2-on-2 or 4-on-4, the team deathmatch or whatever it is, she'll always constantly be pretty upset. Like, she keeps dying. She's like, "Oh, I have to go back to the menu. Got to do it again."
Back to the lobby, as they say.
Yeah, but who's paying for this? Are this adults, teenagers, parents?
So I would say it's about 60% of the orders I get are playing with kids ages 9 to 14. And it's always the parents paying for them. Like, one or two, maybe like a kid got a gift card and then hit me up. But It's all been like just parents looking for coaching for their kids. Some have been gifts. I did a couple like Christmas gifts, birthday gifts. Yeah, it's pretty much mostly kids. I've had a couple adult ones, and they're the most fun ones because the adults just learn so quickly. It just makes it so easy. You don't have to worry about things like them having a bad mic or their little brother in the background screaming. Yeah, so it's definitely mostly kids, but a decent amount of adults, and then it's been people all over the country. It's definitely not just America. This game is worldwide for sure.
Oh, so you gotta adjust to their time, huh? So they're like a 3-hour difference. You gotta wake up and do it at the time they could do it.
Oh yeah, I've done.
So you're probably doing this in the middle of the night then.
Yeah, I've done a couple of those, or a couple wake up at 7s. I've done Sweden, Australia. I've done like 7 people from the UK. I think it's like over 15 countries so far.
No way. So is your account that big that people are actually hitting you up around the world?
Yeah, I mean, I've done over 100 orders. This other guy I know that's like top coach, he has more orders than me. I think he's done near 200, and he was actually doing it like the first month. But yeah,
Wow.
there's a lot of demand. And then I get like 5 people per day hit me up asking for free coaching or just asking me weird questions on Fiverr. Um, there's a lot of that as well.
I can't. It's weird because when I first heard of it, I'm like, I can't believe people are paying for this stuff, man.
Oh
So
yeah,
from what you're telling me, there's a lot of people paying for this then, because you're just one person. There's a lot of people doing this.
mm-hmm. Yeah. There's like 4 or 5 coaches on Fiverr who have around similar amount of orders as me. I just happen to charge more. And then also one way increasing my prices kind of changed the type of clientele I had. When I started off, I was doing like $5 an hour just to get a bunch of reviews, and that just made like people with horrible mics and, like I said, screaming in the background and stuff like that. And ever since I raised my prices, it's very polite people and nice people.
One part I mentioned is like how sometimes it literally does feel like babysitting. There's certain parents who are like clearly trying to put their kid off for a couple hours, which is it's just fine. It's just kind of funny the different feel. Like there's people who want to give it as a gift. There's other people who are like trying to make their son or daughter just like do it for them, make it a special day for them or whatever. It's really funny the different vibe you get from every single order right off the bat.
Okay, so you're obviously priced yourself pretty high, so you're getting more people who are very serious about this, right?
Very
Because when you had it at $5 an hour, it was just people like, crap, let's just see what he can teach me.
Totally. Bunch of even more little kids, people who barely even know the game. Totally changed the type of person I've been working with.
So do you train people? Like, are there people that want to be professionals at this?
I've actually trained or worked with 2 different streamers who are kind of on the professional side, but I don't know, professional is a loose word with this game. People think if they play in like the in-game tournaments, that makes them a pro. But I haven't worked with like any of the legitimate pro players yet, to be honest. I'd love to, that would be cool. It's almost all just like kind of casual people who are trying to make the best out of the time they're on. And I think it makes a huge difference. Like, if you're going to play the game, you might as well be your best at it. People to know what's going on. Because there's so many details in the game that like you don't know unless you're like very involved in the community and like watching YouTube videos about it. And I just kind of like bridge that huge skill gap as much as I can for these people.
What do you see like the biggest mistake these kids were making? When you were at the $5 one, what do you see when you were at $5 an hour? What did you see the biggest mistake these kids were making?
Honestly, it's kind of a lot of the same. It's mostly like one big thing is settings. Like there's all these settings people don't even know that are things. Like there's like 20 different ones that they could change that the actual game says nothing about. You just have to like go in and look for it. So that honestly, I go in, that's the first thing I do. I change people's settings and it blows their mind. I have people like freaking out over, wait,
Really?
what just happened? Like you change that and it changes the whole game. So that's kind of been the biggest thing no matter what. It was just changing people's settings and it like completely changes how they play the game.
That's funny. I'm like thinking now. So does Fortnite do that on purpose? Like, hey, let's put the settings where everybody sucks,
It almost does kind of seem like that. Like I say it all the time. These people like they should tell people about this. But then also the other big thing is just building like this. That's the unique thing about this game and why it's so huge and popular. Like there's never been a game like this. I'm sure you've heard of Minecraft, which has building.
My daughter plays that right now.
Yeah, that's also big with the little ones. But this one has building and shooting, and it's just like such a unique combination. They've done it so perfectly, and it's so tough to learn if you didn't have somebody teach you. You have no idea what's going on.
I'm curious, man. What do people say when you tell them you're a Fortnite coach? Do you even tell people that?
I once told somebody at a teaching interview. One person on the interview clearly liked it. The other person was like, "Oh gosh, let me get out of this interview." But most of the time, people get a kick out of it. They want to know like how much I charge, how much money I made, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a weird thing. I definitely don't tell everybody. It's not a first date conversation for the most part. Usually a second or third.
Wow. Okay.
And my dad and like family is supportive and all that. They think it's hysterical.
I'm just shocked, dude, because this is, to me, I see your prices, dude, right? And I did some math. I'm like, dude, you can make freaking, if you do this 12 hours a day, like make it consistent, have clients after one after another, you can make like $88,000 a year, man.
Yeah, it could be crazy. I've made like, there's been weekends where I've gotten like 3 or 4 in a row, and it's pretty nice, but it's actually pretty sporadic. I think if I kept it low, because I know this one guy, he does like 25 an hour, and he gets it pretty consistent, but it's just too much. So I like it higher, and it really is sporadic because of the whatever reasons in the market. I noticed the actual like gig where you can see my order gets about 100,000 views a month though. Like stats that give me impressions. Sorry, I honestly forgot what your question was there to start.
No, it's just I'm saying that it's shocking because it looks like you can actually make a living, like a career out of it. Just quit your job, but you got to build your clients. Because I was looking at your rates, right? And you're how much are you per hour again? I forgot already.
So it can be between 30 to 45, depending on, I can give people deals and like custom offers and stuff like that, or regular clients I give discounts.
All right, let's just say $30 an hour times 10, dude. Hardly anybody works 8 hours now. So let's say times 10. That's $300 in one day. I don't even know if even people claim like do taxes on that, which I doubt it. And you do it 5 days a week, man. That's $1,500 a week times 52 weeks in a year. That's $78,000.
Sadly, I'm not doing that. I know the one dude, he made $1,700 in 1 month. That's the most he's made in a month. The most I've made is $1,200 in a month. So yeah, I don't know if I see like the long-term vision for it as much. I'm mostly more in it for just side cash at the moment. It's fun, and then it's like kind of working on my coaching and teaching skills anyway. I think I told you I coach lacrosse, and then I'm also going to be a PE teacher next year.
Okay.
So I'm used to working with kids and whatever, and it's just kind of fun. And often, a lot of times, I'll play with my friends and then include the person from the order, and then it doesn't even seem like an order. Then we're just all playing as a squad, having fun. And occasionally, I'll coach them up on something, but yeah, I mean, it does seem like my prices make it seem like I'm very serious about it. I'm trying to make a career, but at the same time, I'm just trying to have fun with it and keep my clientele respectable and not getting trolls and stuff. Because I did have one super troll. I've had a couple kind of people like clearly just trying to mess with me. And I had to block one guy because of it.
I seen that on YouTube. They actually make fun of these people that are coaches.
Oh, I haven't
like, and then they'll pay for the $5 one too.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get it. Like, the coaches there's no coaches that are like the pro players, so they don't like demand that respect.
They're just doing it for the YouTube video. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
Hey, but you mentioned you're a PE teacher, huh? Do your students are like, hey, do they know you as like the Fortnite coach?
So this is going to be my first year as a PE teacher. I've been a sub for a couple of years, and I'm just finishing up my master's degree. But while I was student teaching this year, I kind of let all my kids know. I don't let them know that I coach, but that I play. And even when I like tell them how many wins I have, they freak out. Like, it was like a rumor around the school that I'm a Fortnite legend. Yep. Literally, random kids.
Teacher's a master at Fortnite. That's funny.
I've never met these kids. They come up to the hallway and call me like the Fortnite legend.
Really?
Same thing with coaching lacrosse. My coach I work with, we were working some camp with like 9 to 15-year-olds, and he let them know I do this just randomly, and they all came up to me. This one kid asked nonstop for 5 minutes maybe to play with me. Like, they love it. It's crazy how they light up. They want to know how many wins you have. They want to know what skins you have in the game. That part is probably the weirdest part about it, honestly.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy how gaming has gone so far with this.
Yeah, it's so mainstream.
Before, I was thinking, man, I don't know, you remember how our parents be like, oh, turn that crap off. I'm not going to get you anywhere. But now it's a thing, dude. Like, you can actually make a living doing this.
Yeah, streamers as well. I was talking with my friend. Like, there's probably 10,000 streamers that make 50,000 plus right now, US dollars a year, at least. And there's all those guys at the top.
I'm like, after taxes or before taxes? Because Uncle Sam would be taking a whole chunk of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know those numbers. Huh?
There's a couple hundred at like the way top making like millions, but it just gives somebody to look who's gaming as a kid to give them something to go for. Gives them a chance to do it professionally.
created a lot of opportunities now, I think. And I'm like, man, these kids are lucky. Wish I had a lot of time to be playing these games. Maybe I would have got something out of it. But now, I work, I got kids, I have family. Like, I have no time for video games, dude.
Yeah, there's some casual streamers. Obviously, if you're going to be a competitor in any sport or any video game, you can't really do that. But there's some like streamers that are kind of casual players. They aren't very good, but they just interact with their chat and whatever, keep it friendly and have a good time. So there's room for that as well too. It's not just Fortnite. Like there's tons of streamers making money off Pokemon Go and weird stuff like that.
So you said this Fortnite coaching is not a long-term thing because it's gonna die out. Something else is gonna replace it, right? Are you gonna?
I kind of believe that it's gonna be out there and have like a cult following for the next decade. I really do. And maybe it'll get into like VR later in that decade. But I mean, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm just planning on keeping my prices super high and just doing what I can. I mean, a big part about it is I don't advertise my services. They advertise it for me. Most of my sales are just people ordering. I don't even talk to them at first. I just get a notification, you have a sale, and that's that. So that's the cool part about it. And yeah, I plan on doing it. Just I'm not sure in what capacity, and I'm not sure what the market's going to switch. Will there be less demand? Who knows? Who knows what it will look like?
What's this game called? Apex? Try to replace Fortnite?
Yeah, I did. It actually did kind of shake up the scene. A lot of people thought it was going to mess up Fortnite, but it died off pretty quickly.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was reading the articles that Apex, it came out strong, but then it just died out quick, dude.
Well, they didn't do the whole like update thing that Fortnite does. Fortnite does like an update every week, adds in crazy stuff literally every week. It's like no other game ever. And then also a big reason why Apex was big is because they paid like several streamers, like they paid Ninja $1 million to play their game on stream. Like $1 million just to play your game. That kind of shows how mainstream and how big this is, this gaming thing out of nowhere. But yeah, there's other games that are going to take a part of it, but it just has such a unique thing. And yeah, I think it's going to be around for a while.
I have a question about your service. Do you think parents pay for this service because they're tired of hearing their kid cry about it?
Oh, I think that's a factor 20% of the time, maybe. They think, oh gosh, I don't want to hear this freaking out. Just please get better at the game. Even parents, I think, can tell that their kid sucks at Fortnite. Like they could just get a feel from watching them and see how good they do. So yeah, there is that feel a lot of the time, but I would say majority of the time it really is just people who want to get better, which is cool. Like I've had only one bad experience, maybe 2 bad experiences out of 100. It's all been fun. I get these people, like I said earlier, like freaking out about the changes I'm making for their game, even in just settings.
Because you're like, no, I'm used to this. Don't mess it up. And then,
no, I meant in like a good way. Like they learn something new, and their like mind is just blown. Like the feedback I get, instant feedback is pretty spectacular. Sometimes I've done a couple orders with like a dad and 2 of their sons, and stuff like that, and we get a win, and the little kid goes nuts. That the dad tells me it made his week and stuff like that. Like you get so much instant feedback from these people about how useful it's been. So that part's really special.
Wow. So you're not FaceTiming these people, are you? You're just it's straight audio, like online, Xbox on Xbox Live?
Yep, all on Xbox Live, and we're just talking in game, and I'm moving around with my virtual character, running around with them.
Man, you just telling them what to do. There's no way to control their settings, right?
Nope.
You have no control of that?
No way to do it. That part can be annoying. I had one kid, he had to reset his settings like 3 different times because he messed it up recently. But yeah, you're just running around telling them what to do over the mic. I mean, I have a good amount of patience. I used to not have much patience, but I'm able to walk them through stuff. I have about 10 building strategies I review with every client. And then I even have a strategy guide PDF book that I give them to review before we play.
Man, so you set all this up then pretty like professionally then.
Yeah, I really try to like systematize it.
What does that mean?
Like to make it into a system. So my system is I give them the strategy guide PDF. I tell them to review it, come with questions. When they get in the game, I have like my standard things. I ask them how long they've been playing. What are they trying to work on? And then we go into this creative mode where you can literally build anything. And then we spend like 20 minutes there building. I show them my 10 different strategies in my list. And then we play duo games, just as us two playing, or we play with a squad.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
a pretty standard procedure, standard operating procedure.
Do you ever have that one kid who does not want to get out of that bad habit?
Oh my!
It's like, no, these are the settings I like. Don't change them for me. Teach me this instead. And you're like, what the heck? I'm here to teach you, you know?
Especially with like the younger ones, like 9, 10, and 11. Some of them just don't have that like growth mindset thing. They're just like, oh, I can't do it, or they try something once and it's tough. So I have to move on to something else. So I would say that's maybe 10, 20% of the kids I work with. All the adults, like they just are so open to everything. They'll change anything. They'll try out anything. So yeah, that's really only been an issue with a very small percentage of people where they're kind of hard-headed a little bit. And we've all been like that at one point in our life. So I understand.
Yeah, with my daughter, she gets really frustrated about certain changes. Like, and she'll get mad. No, change it the way it was. It was easier for me that time. But I'm like, dude, it's not working for you. Why would I change it back? Like, this is the way. This is going to help. You just got to practice. You'll adjust to it.
Yep, people just don't get it. I play with like a couple of my good friends, and my one friend I've been coaching up a ton, and he's so super open to it, and he's gotten like crazy better. Like you can see his stats, and they've just grown tremendously. And then I have one other friend who doesn't really care to get better very much. Like I try and teach him things or try and change his settings, just won't do it. And this is like a good friend of mine. So yeah, it's always dependent on the person, what they're willing to do, whether they trust you and your suggestions enough. Yeah, but I mean, just like in anything else, we don't always know what's best for us.
Yeah, that's why we have the coaches, that other people evaluating us, pointing out the wrongs. Like, hey, why are you trying to snipe somebody at close range, or why are you trying to use a shotgun when he's all far away? It doesn't make sense.
There's so much stuff I see where I'm just like, what?
Hey, so do you ever see other coaches?
It's so actually two of my biggest supporters in my stream on Twitch are two other Fortnite coaches. And one time I got an order from this kid. It was a repeat order. It was actually the guy I had to block eventually. But he ordered two other coaches, and we played a squad. Me, this kid, and then the two other Fortnite coaches all together. And it was actually really fun. We had a great time. We got a couple wins, and now the two other Fortnite coaches are like my friends. We play together sometimes. Yeah, they're awesome.
So why was this guy blocked though?
Okay, so he was the troll I was talking about. He literally, like, I could see he would review. He bought from like 10 other Fortnite coaches. I would see his reviews on other people's so there's a review system where I coach, and he would apologize on his review, like, sorry for being toxic. And he was the one that was trying to make me mad and stuff like that, like trying to talk about my mom. It was just very weird. He's clearly immature or has some issues.
This guy paid you just to talk crap to you?
Yeah. Although I did do some coaching and we played some games together. But yeah, that was a part of his thing for sure. He wanted to be able to talk crap to you and try and make people mad. He did it with like every other coach. I've talked to other coaches. I saw his reviews. That was his MO. And then he would like apologize after. It was kind of weird. He hit me with like really sincere apologies a couple times.
Hey, but Microsoft, if you report them, Microsoft will ban them from Xbox Live, right?
I've noticed that. Yeah, Microsoft the past few years has really turned that up. Even if you text like one bad word to somebody in a message, like you can get a couple day comm ban, they call it, communications ban. Yeah, they're pretty strict about it now.
And for these gamers, that's hell, dude. It's like taking the phone away.
So true. Some of these guys like create new accounts to like immediately so they can talk to people. It's funny you say that. I've heard a couple people like react to, I was so pissed I got a comm ban.
Oh man. Remember I'm 26. You're 26 too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the same age. I remember when we first started playing Xbox, it was nonstop talk trash in the lobby room.
Oh yeah, in game.
This, F your mom. I did this to your mom, and it's like, why is always the mom jokes?
Yeah, they always love to do that. There's just like, that's a part of human nature as well, but it just gets exemplified on the internet because people don't have that fear of you punching them in the face.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be a thing forever, I think.
Yeah, it's not gonna stop. It only gets worse, man. I've been noticing it's been getting really bad.
It depends on the game as well, like the whole community of the game. And Fortnite has a kind of a more toxic community in a lot of ways. I mean, there's
Who
obviously
has all the
good
kids
spots.
with freaking anger issues, dude?
Yep.
All the teenagers. You remember when we were teenagers, man? We were out of control. Freaking talking. I don't know, but I already apologize to my parents. Like, I'm sorry for talking back. You know, I was being dumb, but
I was more a mischievous one rather than a in-your-face confrontation type of guy.
wow.
I mean, I was a big gamer as a kid. I played like World of Warcraft and stuff, and my mom put a password on my computer. And then one time I called my grandma, or my grandma was home, and she was getting the password from my mom, and I would listen in on the other side of the line to get the password so I could play late at night and stuff like that.
Oh, hey, did she constantly change it though? Like, what the heck?
Oh yeah,
Why is she on it? I gotta change it again.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I got in so many fights with my parents about video games as a kid.
My computer right now, you got it's a fingerprint. So if you want to use it, I gotta cut my finger off or something.
That's beautiful.
But man, I'm like, wow, gaming has changed so much, dude. It's crazy.
VR is not too far away. I mean, it's already here technically, but I'm thinking within the next 10 years, it's going to be mainstream. Something like that. It's going to be big.
I wonder how you can coach on that.
I mean, it'd be just the same. Like right now, it's kind of VR. I'm in there with my voice. I'm moving around with this fake body in game. So I mean, kind of would be the same thing. Your fake body would be in the game, and you'd just be running around with people. So
Dude, that VR thing would be perfect. That's something I would buy. You know, something I can do after work. Have you seen the movie Ready Player One?
Oh, I absolutely love that movie.
Dude,
so
if it can be the same thing as that, I would so pay for that, man.
I would play that
Cool,
game.
dude.
Yeah.
But
That's not that far away. I really believe that exact game is within 20 years.
oh, dude, that's far, man.
Sort of.
Yeah,
In the grand scheme of things, 20 years ago, what were we playing? I don't even know. Like the most basic game, Pong, was out for a couple of years then.
So, what's the top thing you recommend these kids to change?
So there's this one setting. It's called Builder Pro, Build Immediately. It's this thing that for some reason you have to click twice to build, but if you turn this on, you only have to click once. So that is literally like you're 100% faster at building right away.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like all the different sensitivities. So how fast your controller moves. Those are kind of very specific. If you don't have those, it can really throw off your game and you won't be your best. Like there's building sensitivity, how fast you build.
So, what is one thing these Fortnite players can change that will help them out a lot?
So big thing is just like their in-game sensitivities. So there's like 6 different values. There's like building, editing, X and Y, targeting and scope, and just like getting those at the right values. Like it's how fast you move in the game, and then building. You want to build as fast as you can. And there's a couple settings. I know that's not one thing. My bad. I have so many. I go over like 20. But those sensitivities, I would say, are probably the biggest.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that when you're trying to teach these kids how to change the settings, they probably get frustrated on you, huh?
Very few. Maybe there's been like 4 times out of the 100 plus that I've been a little bit frustrated. But I mean, I'm just sitting there hanging out. I'm in my room. I'm sitting on the ground so I can hit a quick stretch if I need to, hop on my phone. They're not watching me, so I'm really free to do other stuff as needed. But yeah, it's usually not too bad with that.
Wow, man, that's crazy. I'm still shocked that this is actually a thing.
Oh, me too. Pretty much every time I do it, I am.
Would you stop your studying if this became a full-time thing? You're actually making some serious money on this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I could stream and coach, if like the streaming thing turned up on Twitch, I would 100% do it. As long as I could still coach lacrosse, work with my high school players, and keep my prices at a good price, I would totally do it full time. I mean, it's good fun, and kind of like I said, like you just get instant feedback about how helpful you're being to people. It really changes their lives. even if it's virtually.
But what would your parents say when you mention this?
At
Because
first,
even
like,
if you live with them or you don't, anything you bring up, they always got like something negative. Oh no, they're so old school. Like, no, just get a job, build your 401k, and retire there. They don't know anything about the new stuff coming up.
Mhm. My mom thought it was really cool and funny and weird. And when she started hearing how much I was making, she was happy with it. My dad, even like weeks after, he was like, "You better watch out. They're trying to catch people talking to kids on Fortnite." He was worried I was gonna like get in trouble with the police for playing with kids on Fortnite.
Oh, and I heard Fortnite they target that pretty good. These predators.
Um, yeah, I've actually so there's a looking for group function on Xbox Live, and I
Hmm.
like whenever I go to use it, I report like 4 or 5 people each time because there's so many sketchy ones. There's like scams for the in-game money. There's
Hmm.
people like asking for boyfriends and girlfriends to play with them and stuff like that. Like a lot of creepy stuff going on there. And like I said, I literally report people every single time. So I can't believe the things I see in those looking for group areas.
When you see other coaches play, what do you see that they're doing wrong? Because obviously, we know there's other people doing the wrong thing. Because when you're an expert at something, you're like, why is he teaching them that? That's not gonna help them. Do, do you ever see stuff like that?
So actually, I don't get to. I've never gotten to sit in on someone else coaching. Nobody else streams their coaching live like I do. I stream almost all my coaching experiences now. And what I don't think they're really good at is the settings thing I do and like different principles. Like they can teach somebody a strategy, an in-game strategy, but when do you use that strategy? How do you use it? And then there's just other important principles and concepts. I mentioned like my ebook thing. I think that's super
Hmm.
important. Like having all these specific rules you follow. So like one, for example, is if you hold it, if you're in high ground, you're holding high ground above someone. Don't just drop down unless you're 100% sure you're going to get them. It's kind of like
Oh.
that in any video game. But in terms of the other coaches, I just don't think they have the like kind of coaching background I have. None of them were coaches or teachers, so I think I have an advantage there and kind of like breaking down skills like I would for a lacrosse player that I'm coaching.
Some people are just not meant to coach. They're like they don't have the patience. They're
Oh
more
yeah.
like do it. Like how do you not know how to do it? And they don't take the time to explain it to you, like why you're pressing this button, why you're changing these settings. Like just change it, just change it.
It goes to that point of like you could because you're a good player at something or you're skilled at something doesn't mean you're going to be a good coach.
Hmm.
And I always say I like kind of if people are on the edge of my playing with me and they're trying to ask how good I am. Like some people will like really press me to try and find out how good I am at the game. And I'll
Hmm.
say I'm a top 5% player, but I'm a top 0.1% coach because I think I am a better coach than I am a player. I'm not ninja or the best player in the world,
Hmm.
but I think having that coaching skills really is a whole different realm, whole different skill set.
What do you recommend for that one person, the kid, the teenager, the adult that wants to be a Fortnite coach? What do you recommend to them?
So I actually get this question like several times a week, maybe more than 3 or 4 times, depending on the week. And I always say charge $5 per hour, which is the minimum, and then be very personable. And I mean, there's not much else you could do. You can
Mhm.
reach out these people. They put out requests sometimes. You can get them that way, but you just have to get good reviews and really have a great experience with the person. I see a lot of people who start on there and they have 2 reviews, but they have 1 3-star review. And I like to check it out. I like to see what happens. A lot of time it's bad communication. They didn't show up on time. Like it's really is. You got to be professional for it. I think that's why I've had success with it. I have tried to keep it very professional.
I saw your reviews. That's the first thing I did.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
you got all 5 stars. The biggest thing I look for is patience and on time. Like
Yeah.
I need patience, man. Like, can you be patient with me? Because I can't do something if you're gonna be yelling at me or be not talking to me right, you know? And
Yeah.
it also shows like kind of person you are outside of gaming, like in the workplace when you're trying to teach somebody something.
Sure. Yeah. I'm a big proponent of if you can be good at one thing, you could be good at everything. There's a bunch of
Mhm.
quotes related to that. And I know for me, I came at this trying to be my best Fortnite coach, and patience is definitely a big part of that for sure.
What do you recommend for these Fortnite players? What is one thing you want to tell them?
Definitely be very deliberate about how you're getting better. A lot of people just play the game. They just play the game and they think they're going to get better by playing. That's really not how you get better. You get better by going into the creative mode where you can work on building strategies with endless materials, because in the game you have limited materials. But in this mode, you have endless materials. So working on specific strategies. One thing I always talk about is like building patterns. Building is the biggest skill part of the game. It's what makes the skill gap. And you literally have to work on specific building patterns. There's like hundreds of them you could be working on, but at least a couple to really master to give you that advantage.
Wow. Where can people find you?
So I am on FIVERR.com. If you look under Fortnite Coach, I will be the only level 2 seller there. It's like Colefevre. You can't even change your new username. It's kind of frustrating. And then I'm also COACHDODY on Twitch. Been streaming for about 2 months now. It's COACHDODY, DODY, all one word, no spaces.
And there you have it, folks. I know what you're thinking. Why would you pay for a Fortnite coach? Who does that? But think about it. Why would you pay for someone to teach your kid how to play basketball? Better yet, why would you even pay for soccer lessons for your kids? It's the same thing as gaming. You're paying so your kid can be better at it. Look, my opinion, I think people have a better chance of making a lot of money gaming online than a person trying to make it to the NFL or the NBA or any professional sport. So if you want to find Cody, go ahead and look at the show notes down below. I will put all his information there so you can find him on the FIVERR app and on Twitch. And don't forget about the raffle I'm doing on Instagram to win that $50 gift card. Alright guys, until next time, laters.